So, here we go. Guile versus Ryu in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. This is one of the greatest matchups in all of fighting game history, and I'm going to talk about this and I'll explain why. But I just want to talk about this, and again, I'm going to now probably spend, I don't know how long, maybe the next 30 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. We'll see how long it takes me to discuss this. But I want to show you this matchup in particular because this is one of the most spacing and distance heavy matches in all of fighting game history. There is no distance or spacing that can be ignored, and there is no distance or spacing where not one character has an advantage. And so as a result, it's absolutely one of the most fascinating matches to play. And so if I show you this example, hopefully that will help you guys really take a good look at how you want to approach fighting game matches. So, again, one of the greatest matchups in fighting game history. That's opinion, but it's a fact, okay? It's an opinion, but it's a fact, okay? So declared by jchensor, James Chen, okay? Because like I said, every distance matters. And the smallest of movements can change who has the advantage. And there are so many options at all the different ranges. And the other thing that makes this interesting is that there is a lot of movement options for both characters. And that's one of the things that really, really emphasizes this match. And yeah, I guess I can add in there that ridiculous precision isn't required. I think I just wanted to talk it up some more, so I added one more bullet point. I just really wanted to talk about how great this matchup is. All right. The match. Let's show you the match. So here we see Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Guile versus Ryu. What makes this one of the best matchups ever? Now, I'm in the training mode of 30th Anniversary Collection here, so obviously they're going to be able to recover their health and everything, and I'm going to do my best to show you guys these examples. The training mode in 30th Anniversary is not the most robust, so I'm going to have to do a lot of things manual. It may take me a couple of tries to show you a lot of things, but you know, one thing to notice right away, of course, this is an old school fighting game, right? This is an old school fighting game, thus the 4x3 dimension. We are not playing on a 16x9 field. It's really interesting because the 16x9 field has actually affected fighting games now that they have to be that way, because a lot of the times to make the character sizes feel right, you know, you extend the stage a little bit and it's a little wider apart. One of the things that's interesting about Super Turbo is that because it's 4x3, you have a little bit of a smaller stage, which creates a little bit more of a cramped feeling. So that's kind of one major reason why all the distances matter in this game. But the main fundamental thing about this game right now is that there's no stalemate at all in this matchup. There's no place where neither character has an advantage. So what I'm going to do over here is I am going to record Ryu throwing a fireball like so. So here's Ryu over here chucking fireballs at Guile here like this, right? So obviously Guile can chuck sonic booms back at him. I can't charge up fast enough. You've already seen a couple of times where I haven't been able to charge up in time to throw the sonic boom at him. See right there, I missed it because I just didn't have enough time to charge up and I wanted to throw the sonic boom early on. So no matter what, I can't keep up. Eventually, I'm just not going to be able to get the sonic boom out in time to keep this up. See, there you go. And that is one of the most fundamentally important aspects of this match. Guile, at full screen, does not have an advantage versus Ryu. He is in a disadvantaged position here. Now, Guile can jump over and try to kick Ryu in the head, but he has to have a precise read and the exact timing to kick him in the head like that, right? The problem, though, is at this range here, if Ryu throws the fireball and I'm too late to jump and punish it, my kick is going to miss, no matter what. My kick is going to miss. And if Ryu really wants to, he can punch my leg. So if I record Ryu to do standing medium punch like this, and I try to jump at him and kick, he's going to punch me in the leg. So even if I jump forward here, I can't hit him at all, and he can hit me. So there you go. Range number 1. We've talked about this. This range is not good for Guile. This range is good for Guile. Wow. This range is good for Guile. What? Like, this range sucks for Guile. This range, great for Guile. What? Like, why did that change? Why did this change by coming over here? Well, because when I jump forward, I can actually kick Ryu in the head now. I can actually kick Ryu in the head. So even if I'm a little bit late to jump over the fireball, so if I record Ryu to throw the fireball again, like so, I can kick him in the head. And even if I'm late, I can still kick him. He still has to respect my jumping heavy kick. So suddenly, just because I went from here to here, all of a sudden now Guile is in a better position because I can kick him in the head even if I'm late on the fireball, like this. So then you're asking, well, James, if I jump late, can't Ryu just uppercut my leg? Yeah, you're absolutely right. He can absolutely uppercut my leg. So if I'm over here and I try to jump over a fireball, you know, he's going to be able to uppercut me. And if he does it a little bit later, he's going to uppercut me for free like that. Why is this an advantageous range for Guile? Because at this range, even though he can uppercut me in the leg here, the trick thing about this range for Guile, though, is now I have a mix-up. If I jump at Ryu and I actually don't hit roundhouse, Ryu misses. I actually have a mix-up by jumping in at Ryu from this range. I can kick him in the head, or I can do nothing, and then I can punish him. So this range is great for him, which conversely makes this range not good for Guile. So I went from having a good range here to a not good range, not good, disadvantage for Guile, advantage for Guile, disadvantage for Guile. Why is this range bad here? Well, because I can't empty jump. I am now at a range that if I jump over and I am not in time to kick him in the head, I can't empty jump and get away with it anymore. So now I went from disadvantage, advantage, disadvantage right here. Now if I move over here, I have an advantage. Why is this an advantage over here? Well, it's because if I can play the fireball game with Ryu properly, like so, from this range here, so I went from disadvantage, advantage, disadvantage, advantage. One of the reasons why this range is really nice for Guile here, I can kick him like that. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is this is standing heavy kick. This is standing heavy kick right here. But the reason why this standing heavy kick is so great is because I can do standing heavy kick while holding back. Which means if I get this situation here like this and kick him, I'm charged for a sonic boom right away because I'm holding back the entire time. And I can throw another sonic boom. At this range, I can actually back fist Ryu in the face, but you got to back fist by holding forward, and then you're not going to be charged for the sonic boom at the end of the back fist. So it's not as good. You'll be able to punch Ryu when you do that. You'll be able to punch Ryu, but now you've kind of pushed yourself back out. You're kind of at this ambiguous range and everything. So this becomes an advantage for Guile over here. However, if I start to move a little bit closer over here, this actually becomes dangerous now because now I'm putting myself in a range where Ryu can Tatsu over and hit my sonic boom if he predicts my sonic boom. At further ranges, so at that one other range, like if I'm at that standing heavy kick range, like over here, if I throw a sonic boom and he Tatsus, I should be able to block and I should be able to crouch in time and I'll get away with it. But if I move just a little bit further and then I sonic boom, I'm going to get Tatsu'd in the head because it reaches me faster. So again, disadvantage, advantage, disadvantage, advantage, disadvantage. Okay, now over here, am I a little bit in the advantage? Yes, I'm a little bit in the advantage because I have access to moves like this. So I have this move over here and I have move like this. And what's important about this move, these moves here, I can start stuffing fireballs. Whoops. Or trade, to be honest with you. There you go. There you go, no fireball. Let's see if I can do this. Ah, there we go. There you go. So there you go. So you can stuff the fireball at this range over here if you time it right. There you go. Ah, perfect. Okay. So you can start stuffing the fireball over here. So this is a pretty decent range for me, but this is where things get a little bit trickier and ambiguous at this point. Because at this range, when I'm trying to throw out crouching medium kicks, like so, he can whiff punish me. So if I'm just throwing out this willy-nilly over here, he can whiff punish me. So now at this range, although I can stuff his fireballs, he can also whiff punish me, and it's not very good. However, there is a little magic range over here that he can't whiff punish me, and I can still stuff the fireballs. So at this range, he can't actually whiff punish me, but I can still stuff the fireballs. Okay, I'm doing that too early. There you go. So at this range, he can't whiff punish me, but I can still stuff the fireball at this range. Not only that, but at this range, this is one of the most fun places to be, because at this range, not only can I do that, what me and my brother used to always like to call just basically kick him on the nose. So you're basically just kicking the nose. Oh God, that's my favorite. Like, it's so good. It makes me so happy whenever I land that on a Ryu player. You're just like, what fireball? What fireball? I don't care. And so essentially at this range, Guile has this nice advantage over here, right? And so once I get into this range here, it becomes a little bit dangerous because, like I said, Ryu can whiff punish that. And not only that, but what you'll actually see is that Ryu can now take half a step, sweep into fireball. So what happens is, at this range when I'm over here, if he suspects that I'm not throwing a sonic boom, he can take a step, do this, and guess where he pushed me now? By blocking that fireball, I am now a full screen away over here, right? Now I'm still in this kind of advantageous position where I can still reach him with this, but he's pushed me away, and now after he does low heavy kick fireball, Ryu, now on the other side, is not just going to throw another fireball from that range because he knows that's an advantageous position for me. He'll probably take a step, throw a fireball. If he's not in the corner, he'll walk back, throw a fireball. And then, like I said, you are fighting for this position all the time, and it's really hard to tell. And what makes this matchup really cool is that everybody has movement options here. Guile has hold back and hit light kick, and he'll do this. I can change positions and charge up for a sonic boom. And then I can throw another one. Sonic boom, change positions, sonic boom. I can do that with heavy kick as well, as we saw earlier. Sonic boom, heavy kick, sonic boom. And you'll notice something. Heavy kick brings me this far. Light kick brings me this far. Hey, look at that. Hey, look at that. So in other words, if I'm fighting Ryu in the corner here and he throws a fireball at me. So let's do this again. And guess what? By hitting a heavy kick before I threw a sonic boom, I just took myself from that one disadvantageous position to an advantage position, because now I have the mix-up of jumping heavy kick him in the face or do nothing and watch his uppercut whiff. So I did sonic boom, this, and then sonic boom, and now I'm in this advantageous position. I'm in this advantageous range. If the Ryu recognizes this, he's going to back up. He's going to walk forward a little bit. If I'm at this range and I want to be more aggressive, I can sonic boom, light kick, and now I'm in the range where my crouching medium kick can hit him. Right? Guile has so many ways to control his distance. He also has this. If you hold back and hit medium kick, he goes backwards like this. And so now I can move backwards in sonic boom too. So if I'm doing this, sonic boom, and I'm too close, I can do this and back myself up into a range that I prefer to be. Now people are going to ask, what's the difference between doing this and sitting here and walking backwards sonic boom? Well, let me show you. ST has some brutal proximity guard. Do you see how far away I am and I'm blocking already? I can't walk backwards anymore. Like, watch me. Oh, I stopped. Oh, I stopped. Right? So in this situation, if he throws a sonic boom, I can actually go backwards, even if he throws the fireball, and still try to get the sonic boom out. Like that. So his fireball is not going to lock me in position. So Guile having two different distances of being able to move forward with standing kick buttons and moving backwards with a medium kick button, Guile has a ton of control over the distances that he wants to be against Ryu. And so right here now, just like that, Guile can control the distances. So, for example, I can do this, check to see my offense. If I don't lock it, back up, Sonic Boom here, and guess what? I'm in disadvantage position. I'm actually still in disadvantage position, and if I don't like it, I can back up to advantage position, and now here I am. And then I can also come forward. There's so much about the spacing to this game. Now, I've been talking about this all from Guile's perspective. Let's actually take a look at this from Ryu's perspective a little bit too, because I just want to show you some of the cool things Ryu can do in this matchup as well. And I do want to point out that people do consider this a 5-5 matchup. This is one of, because this fight is so good, it's such an even matchup. And you'll see one of the things that becomes dangerous is that if I can get Guile into that one disadvantageous position where he can't whiff jump at me, especially with Guile in the corner over here, this is a dangerous position for Guile over here. Because now he can't jump at me where I can't uppercut him. He can't walk backwards to increase the distance. He's kind of stuck. He's kind of in this really crappy position. So this is where Ryu kind of wants to get Guile to. And you'll actually see what a lot of Guiles try to do in this situation is they'll walk forward and crouching medium kick. They try to walk forward when they predict Ryu is going to throw a light fireball, crouching medium kick, trade with my fireball. He'll hit me, push me back this way. He'll get hit by the fireball, but now we're a screen away so he can throw a Sonic Boom back at me and heavy kick his way into the optimal position. He can try to walk and neutral jump it. Basically what he's trying to do now is he's trying to find the way to build that distance so that he can get into range where he can have an advantage. At this range, he has an advantage because, like I said, his crouching medium kick can beat me. He can flash kick me. What if he's not charged? Well, one of the beautiful things that Guile can do even at this range here as well is he can neutral jump roundhouse. And you'll see this a lot from Guile players in this matchup. If he can walk up to this range and neutral jump, so let's say I'm not the one that moved forward, that Guile walked forward into this range, and if he neutral jumps over here and I throw a fireball like this, let's see how am I going to time this, he can kick me in the head and clear the fireball at the same time. And if he does that, then he puts himself back into this kind of advantageous position. Now, Ryu, from a screen away, has an advantage here. And Guile wants to, from this range, he might be able to jump and just kind of empty jump his way over here. But I don't want to give him that advantage. So what I'm going to do is throw a fireball, and I'm going to towards heavy punch. If he ends up blocking it with the Sonic Boom, I'm going to towards heavy punch afterwards. Like this. And as soon as you see that, as soon as I towards heavy punch my way over here, guess what? I've bypassed the disadvantage for Guile. This is advantage for Guile. This is disadvantage for Guile. I have bypassed that distance now. I want to bring myself forward and put him in a more disadvantageous position because this one, he is more disadvantaged than he is if he is over here. This is slight disadvantage. This is big disadvantage. So I'm going to throw a fireball and towards heavy punch my way over there so I can start the next input of the fireball while moving forward. Like that. If I walk forward, I have to go back and do the fireball, which takes extra frames. In Super Turbo, you can't afford those extra frames, so use that. Or I can use Light Tatsu. You'll see a lot of Ryus throw a fireball and then Light Tatsu their way over, and then people think you're going to throw another fireball, they jump, and then I can anti-air. So again, just like Guile having the standing kicks to be able to move him into the ranges that he wants, Ryu has the ability to do that as well with towards heavy punch and light Tatsu. He can also neutral jump and Tatsu a little bit. If he Tatsu's on his way up, you see he slides forward a little bit. So you can neutral jump like this, and if Guile throws a Sonic Boom that you're about to land on, you can actually bring yourself forward a tiny bit and land at a different range. There's so many ways to control your range in this game. You know, and because the Shoto sweep is one of the fastest sweeps in the game, being able to play at this range, take a step and do this into Hadoken is such a powerful tool. So again, at this range, Ryu kind of has an advantage over Guile because Guile is really slow. His crouching medium kick, his furthest move, has less range, and if I'm Ryu, I can back off, make his crouching medium kick whiff, and then whiff punish it, get him scared to do that, so then I can walk up and do this, or I can towards heavy punch into throw because I've gotten him scared to do anything. If I think he's going to Sonic Boom, I can actually medium tatsu him, or maybe even light tatsu him if I'm close enough. So at this range right here, Ryu is going to make Guile very scared because I can do, you know, this very easily, or do oh, I tried to throw with the 2 light buttons. I can't believe I did that. I can do this, or I can back up and whiff punish his crouching medium kick. Again, a lot of power of distance over here. So what you end up having here is this match where the 2 players are fighting for distance constantly. If Guile does heavy kick and pushes himself at this range, Ryu's going to see that and not going to want to be at that range, so he's either going to walk forward or he's going to try to walk back, right? Then if Guile sees me that I walk back, he's going to keep doing it. He's going to go Sonic Boom, roundhouse, Sonic Boom, roundhouse. And if I keep walking back to create that full screen distance, now I'm walking myself to the corner. So the Ryu has to change his plans. Instead of walking away to get the advantage, he's maybe wants to walk closer. But then if I walk close, a little too close, then all of a sudden Guile can now inch his way forward where he can stuff my fireball with his crouching medium kick. And again, I want to go back to one of the slides over here. I want to go back to one of the slides here. So let me show you this slide over here. And one of the things that I said is that space is fought for very quickly. It's so fast. It's so fast that when I talk about this, it's really hard to see. It's actually really hard to see when you see this happening live. So, one reason why I really wanted to do this examination really right now is because there is a match on part of the Kimono Michi that's coming up. Kimono Michi is exhibition matches put on by Daigo Umehara. If you're watching this on YouTube, most likely that match is like in 2 days. If you're watching this after the match has already happened, I apologize, but you can probably go onto YouTube and find it on Daigo's channel himself. So you'll be able to watch the archives of it on Daigo's YouTube channel. But that match that we just saw between Kotaka Shoten and Kurahashi is the match that you guys are going to see. That is one of the exhibitions that Daigo is setting up in that match. And this is going to be an exciting matchup because Kotaka Shoten, Kurahashi, Guile versus Ryu. What a lot of people don't realize is Kotaka Shoten is actually a very new school player. He's actually one of the best Guiles in Japan, but he's not one of the classic guys. He's not one of the guys who's been playing for, 15 years or anything like that. He's relatively new compared to a lot of the grandmasters of Super Turbo in Japan. So Kurahashi's been killing everybody forever. Okay, he's one of the guys who is super good forever. So this is a true new school versus old school match that Daigo is setting up here. I think Kurahashi and Kotaka Shoten have both played in the Kimono Michi earlier. Kotaka Shoten fought against Anakin, I believe. I don't remember who Kurahashi fought against. But this match is going to be taking place this weekend. Again, it's on Sunday. It's on Japan time. 3/1/2020. There's a bunch of matches. I don't know the order, so I don't know exactly when it's going to start. I forgot what the time was. Shoot. Sorry, I'll try to find that information out, and I'll put it into the comments on YouTube below. But again, it's going to be on twitch.tv/DaigoTheBeast. Make sure you check that out. And again, I'm just plugging this event because it's a great example. You'll be able to watch this matchup in its highest form live if you get the chance. It's going to be super fun. It's going to be super fun. And then just to sum everything up here, the importance of ranges and spacing. Different games will change how important ranges and spacing are, right? So some games, you don't have that same kind of play. The example I just showed was Super Turbo. The screen is smaller, projectiles are scary, they push you super far away. However, when you play a game like Street Fighter V, projectiles generally are not as effective. Street Fighter V doesn't have, for example, full screen play as much. You don't really worry about that. You kind of really are at a stalemate with your opponent when you're at full screen from the opponent. So, the ranges and that kind of idea is going to be different. A game, like I said, that has great ranges and spacing, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus is one, because you've got characters like Matera who will zone you with arrows all day. Soul Calibur 6 is another game because you range from weapons of like a sword that changes into a whip and reaches super far to having someone trying to hit you with little bladed tonfas, which basically have no range, right? Someone has nunchucks that doesn't have the same range as another person who has a giant spear. And so Soul Calibur is another one of these games that really emphasizes the ranges a lot. Then you get into games like Guilty Gear, where people are throwing projectiles everywhere. A character is literally throwing dolphins and beach balls at you across the screen, all over the place, covering all these different spaces. And you can high jump and double jump, so now it makes sense to measure where you are in relation to the opponent, even when you're in the sky and they're on the ground. There's all sorts of craziness happening, but again, it doesn't matter. The ranging, the spacing, and the distancing is going to determine where you want to be, right? The reason why you jump in the air to try to air dash over dolphins or beach balls or whatever is because you're trying to put yourself in a closer spacing that has good range. Uniclair, Under Night in Birth, EXE Late CL-R. is another game. Sorry, Uniclair. It's a great game. I mean, I laugh about the name, but it is a fantastic game. Another game where characters wildly different ranges, and so it really changed the dynamic of how you want to treat the footsies and the spacing. So again, no matter what, though, whether it's a huge factor or a small factor, it still determines how you want to play the game. So in Street Fighter V, if I'm Lucia and I'm fighting against Karen, which is a match that I play, because I'm a Lucia player, for me, I want to stand right outside of Karen's standing medium kick range so I can micro step in and get my crouching medium kick into light burn kick. So even though there's no full screen game, we're kind of at a stalemate there. Once we get here, it becomes a big difference. If I fight against Karen, she has that standing medium kick, which has a great range, so I'm going to play further away from Karen than I would if I played against like Ken, for example. If I played against Ken, I would be braver moving in. I would play a little bit closer distance. Lucia wants to be in your face. She wants to be able to rush you down. So against Ken, I'll be braver about it. But against Karen, I got to back up a little bit because I have to respect Karen's buttons. So same character, different optimal ranges based on who my opponent, depending on how on what character my opponent is using. So you have to use ranges and spacing to dictate how you play a match. So when I talked all about what footsies are comprised of, whiff punishing, forward movement, pokes, and space control, when I talked about that, I talked about what you're supposed to do. You were never given why you're supposed to do those or how you decide which one you do. Now you have a stronger idea. Now you have a stronger idea of how you're supposed to play footsies and why you're switching between those, right? Are you going to whiff punish them when they whiff a button? Well, if you're inside the range of that move, you're at a bad disadvantage range. So you'll purposely walk yourself out and they kick and now you can whiff punish it. That's part of the baiting that I showed. Or you'll move forward and try to hit them before they try to use their long range move. These are all examples, but understanding where the advantage is for your opponent and where the advantage is for you based off of spacing, ranges, and, in games where the vertical matters, the angle, understanding where you have the advantage is what is going to drive how you play the footsies. So again, we're still in the neutral section here of first attack. It's just the neutral section. And we've covered footsies now, and we've covered ranges and spacing. But, you know, after doing these 2 episodes, I hope it's very obvious. And if not, you know, feel free to ask me questions in the comments below. But I hope it becomes a lot more clear now why these 2 concepts are so married with each other and so vastly important for footsies. So 2 of the most important things in footsies, neutral and footsies and ranges and spacing. One more thing that's going to be important about footsies, however, that's going to really kind of affect how you want to judge advantage and disadvantage, is your opponent's attack vectors. So what is an attack vector? Well, that's next episode. It's going to be the 3rd part of the neutral. So next week, I'll be doing another first attack, and we're going to be talking all about attack vectors, which is going to change how you're going to perceive the field, which is going to change how you perceive your opponent's characters. Okay, you're gonna start dividing the screen into zones, and once you start dividing the screen into zones, it's gonna control you even more. It's gonna give you a better idea of how you want to control the ranges and spacing and the footsies as well. And all those 3 things combined together make such a is gonna be what helps you grow into a really excellent neutral player. And again, is it gonna take time? Hell yeah. Just because you watch these 3 videos doesn't mean you're going to go, okay, I get all the things he's talking about, and go in and you're going to be a magician at footsies. This is a hard skill. It's called fundamentals, but still one of the hardest things to learn in fighting games. So again, just want to make sure that I put that out there so you guys have an expectation. Because if you expect to go out there and go, I get it now, and you try it and it doesn't work, you're going to be like, what the heck? It's hard. A lot of it is intuition. A lot of it is heart, which is why heart is such an important part of fighting games. A lot of this, what you're doing here in fighting games, is going to be heart, reads, predicting what the opponent's going to do. And it takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of experience as well. Don't knock the experience for learning fighting games. As many times as you lose, as long as you understand these concepts, you'll have a better idea of why you lost. And that will be the experience that will help you grow into a stronger player. So once again, if you have questions, you need any clarifications, you have any thing that you want to ask me, you can hit me up on Twitter. My DMs are open at jchensor. Or even better, hit me up in a direct, just tag me on a tweet so I can, and then make sure you hashtag first attack so that I can quote retweet it and answer everybody, because that's really important. Or you can email me at jchensor@jchensor.com if you do not have social media. You can also hit me up on Discord as well. I have a Chensor Dynasty Discord. I should put that in the descriptions down below. I'll try to make sure I do that. And you can join the Chensor Dynasty Discord and hit me up there as well. Ask other people. You can DM me on Discord. And then you can also come here on twitch.tv/jchensor. Talk to me in person and ask the questions during the Q&A portions of any of my streams that I do whenever I do Q&A. So there you go. Ranges and spacing. Fighting games are hard. They're complicated. But again, amazing stuff once you get it. And once it all starts making sense, fighting games really do become something so great, and you play it and you just appreciate it so much, and you have so much fun with it, just like my cat Jasmine over here, who's hiding off to the side over here. Come here, Jasmine, give me a headbutt. Bonk. Oops, you couldn't see that. Oh no, the slides were in the way. Oh, next time. Here, headbutt me again. There you go. Ah, good kitty. Fist bump. There you go. Jasmine, tell everybody in the stream what they can't KO their opponent with. Jasmine, tell everybody in the chat what they can't KO their opponent without. Yeah. As I always say, you cannot KO your opponent without your first attack. Thanks for watching, guys.